Well, with more on Nikki Haley's announcement, we're now joined by award-winning journalist David Devinthal. He joins us in D.C. Dave, now the editor-in-chief of the investigative news website Raw Story. Although so busy, he's joining us from his car today. Dave, nice to see you.
I will give you my best dashboard confessional, Michael.
Okay, sounds good. Really, I just want to talk about Nikki Haley. But listen, it wasn't that long ago that she said that she would not run for the Republican nomination if Donald Trump, her former boss, was going to throw his hat in the ring. What changed? Did someone not tell her that Donald Trump is running?
Yeah, well, politics changed, and as to her not knowing that Donald Trump was running, seems like her and maybe about a dozen other Republicans are kind of in the same boat of like, oh yeah, Donald Trump, he's running too. Not stopping them one bit. And Nikki Haley clearly sees that this is an opportunity for her with a weakened Donald Trump, where Republicans are curious about other potential candidates who could represent the Republican Party in 2024. And there's no guarantee that Donald Trump at all is going to be the nominee at this juncture right now.
Well, let me pick up on that point then. What kind of hold does Donald Trump have on the Republican Party anymore?
So Donald Trump still has a very strong hold on the Republican Party. Donald Trump is the former president. And if you were to be an odds maker at this point, you would still probably put money on him winning the nomination. But he is in a much weaker state than he has really ever been since the 2016 election, when he was competing against many other Republican candidates and ultimately defeated him. So this is a huge opportunity for others who would love to increase their profile at minimum and at maximum win the Republican nomination outright. Nikki Haley is one of them, but you can add Ron DeSantis and Senator Tim Scott and several others to the list who we can expect over the next many weeks are going to strongly consider, if not outrightly get into the race.
Well, it's interesting. You mentioned DeSantis, and oftentimes he is the name held up as this serious alternative to Donald Trump. So obviously Nikki Haley sees a path to victory here. What is her possible path?
Possible path. Well, first of all, you can't win if you don't play. So she's been out of the political arena for a little bit right now, but somebody who definitely can make the case that, hey, I am a woman. I am a woman of color. I am younger. I am all the things that Donald Trump is not. And if the Republican Party wants to appeal to a broader base while still staying true to conservative principles, I am the person to carry that banner into the future. Expect that is going to be a major part of her appeal to conservatives, to Republicans, and in something that is going to differentiate her very much from Donald Trump.
Okay, conservatives, Republicans. What about Democrats? Does she appeal to soft Democrats?
So she doesn't need to at this point because of the protracted way that we choose presidents in the United States. There's going to be a Republican primary process. It's literally going to go state by state and in essence have lots of mini contests on the way to the parties, both the Republican and the Democratic Party, nominating their candidates. So Nikki Haley's first and foremost goal here is going to be to appeal to those Republicans, to the question of whether she would appeal to Democrats or independents or people in a general election scenario. Perhaps more than Donald Trump. She might have some crossover appeal, but again, that's not something that she has to quite concern herself with at this juncture. Okay,
so we'll watch the Republican field very closely. Donald Trump, Nikki Haley, now the first two to declare that they are going to run officially. But, I mentioned Democrats there, and I do want to also talk about Joe Biden, because there are Democrats who question if he should run for re-election. What's being said about that in D.C. right now?
Joe Biden's poll numbers are not great. There are a lot of Democrats who are very concerned about him running for re-election in 2024. He's 80 years old. He would be 86 when he ended a second term. But all indications are that Joe Biden is going to run for re-election. He has telegraphed as much. It is not guaranteed. He hasn't formally stated that he is and filed paperwork, but at least at this point in time, it would be surprising if he stepped away. And there is no heir apparent, save for maybe Kamala Harris, the vice president, who also, too, has her own popularity issues. So the Democrats do have their own kind of quandary in a way, and Joe Biden is going to have to do a lot more to, in essence, continue to appeal to the electorate, both within his own party and to a general electorate, so that he could win not only the nomination, but also the general election against whoever the Republican nominee is ultimately going to be next year.
Well, we are watching very closely from this side of the border, Dave. Always good to speak with you. Thank you for that. That is David Levinthal.
Thanks so much for having me, Michael.